Alright boys, this is a Monday slow cooker madness special. I'm just going to be showing you a little variation on that Caribbean peanut butter chicken recipe. That was such a smash hit, and I think I have improved immeasurably. So step one, I've chopped up all the veg. In this case, two red onions and the 3 mixed chilies, and dumped in half a can of chopped tomatoes. Typically I would also add some spring onion here as well, but they didn't have any in Aldi, so gonna have to miss out this time, but you know, it's not the end of the world. You can also play around with some other veg, but I like to keep it sort of simple at this stage. So I'm going to dump that in the slow cooker in a sec. You're also supposed to marinate the chicken before this, but I have this one good knife that isn't even very good. It's quite blunt. As you can see, not cutting myself at all doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered to wash it after cooking the chicken, so I'm going to be doing the chicken marinade while the onions are frying in the pan. Yeah, actually I'm not going to put these in the slow cooker yet because I'm going to fry them. But yeah. Alright, I hope you can hear me over all this racket. I've got the extractor fan on because you know, it gets a bit smoky in here. I'll turn it down a bit then. So yeah, I've sliced up all the chicken here. Probably better to slice it up smaller than this typically, but like I said, my knife is not the best, so every slice is sort of eroding it away. I think the chicken is probably sharper than the knife at this point, so you know, this is good enough if you don't really give a shit. And I think I used about a kilogram of chicken. There's an actual mountain here of chicken. So, you know, I think it was actually 900 grams of chicken thighs, which you might think, you know, amounts to about 10, but we're using Aldi chicken here, which is like super sized, so it's more like 7 thighs. As for the onions, they're cooking away in a pan that is certainly not big enough for them. Just sort of trying to crisp them up a bit, get a bit of a char on there. But you know, it's less about technique with a slow cook recipe, because I mean, let's be honest, it's going into this ceramic crematorium. So, you know, if you burn it, who gives a shit? You're just sort of trying to crisp them up so that they don't go soggy when they're being cooked for a few hours. So they're probably nearly there. Can leave that. We're now going to do the marinade, which I don't really know how important this step is, because the sauce flavour is so intense that I mean, every time I've switched up the marinade and sort of experimented with it, I haven't actually been able to taste a difference. But you know, for the sake of consistency here, I'm going to do it anyway. And plus, you know, you don't want to put the chicken in with the other veg straight away anyway, or you'll overcook it and it will go dry. So it's good to make the chicken feel like it's, you know, doing something important for a bit. But that will be the next step. I've kept this, the wrapper, the packaging that the chicken came in, nice bit of blood at the bottom. I don't know whether to be concerned about that, but you know, yeah, I've kept that to put the chicken back in and let it marinate, because saves them washing up. And as you can see, there's still a leak coming from a different part of my wall now, and it's right by the toaster, which is good. But that's a different thing. And I need to take my bin out because it's got some potatoes that I forgot about for about 2 months. doing some marinating of their own, that when I found them smelled like sewage, so you know, that's good. Alright, so for this marinade, I'm going to start with some, let's go with some chili oil for a bit of a kick. Don't be afraid to be generous with this. Just dump it in. Spicy. And this will help it keep some moisture while it's stewing away in its juices. I'm going to add some garlic salt because I actually didn't chop up any garlic for the recipe itself. Which, you know, maybe I should have done, but kind of, you know, couldn't be bothered for that. It's not coming out very well though, so dump a load of that shite in. I also like adding some chili flakes for some extra kick. It's a spicy one, this. And then, you know, just sort of play around with the flavours a bit. Go crazy, add some thyme. Maybe a bit of curry powder. I think the original recipe says to use curry powder, but I don't think I have for the last few times I've made this, and to be honest, I haven't missed it, but I'll add a bit anyway, because why the F not? And I don't know why the extractor fan's still going. Sorry, the onions are done. And then finish it off with some paprika, I guess. Going for some spicier flavours here. Seasoning. How about that? So that's that done. I've covered it in cling film, and I'm going to pop that in the fridge for like an hour or so. Ignore the Domino's box I've got floating around in here. That is oh yeah, that's just embarrassing. I got some popcorn chicken from there because I've never had it before, and it was putrid. But I'm going to take out the lardons because we're going to cook these up now, and I'm going to put these onions into the ceramic pot. Yum. And I'm just going to get that started, and then while the lardons are cooking in said pan, I'll get going on the star of the show, which is the sauce. Alright, so I've got the bacon going off in the pan right now. Straight vibing. That smells good. I just used a whole packet of lardons because who cares about measuring anything? And I'm going to make the sauce now. So I've got the kettle boiling because we're going to be using some stock, a good amount of chicken stock. It's a bit tough to do with one hand. I think in the original recipe, if you're making for about 6 portions, you need to use somewhere around like 1.3 litres of stock, which, let's be honest, that's ludicrous. We want the sauce to be really nice and thick, so I'm going to be using a fair amount of stock, dry stock, but only about, I think, 3 cups of actual liquid. Because to be honest, we're going to be getting a lot of our liquid when we add the spinach later as well, so you don't want to add too much water here. I wasn't paying attention to how much of the stock powder I added, but you know, the thicker the gravy the better, so that's not a problem. So that's that, while the kettle's boiling and the bacon's on its way. Doesn't that look scrumptious? Alright. Yeah, I'll be adding the rest of the sauce once I've added the water. This is the fun bit of the sauce, the peanut butter. Now you're going to want to be generous with this one. It's going to be hard to film at the same time, but let me just get a good example. Here's my, well, actually wasn't enough. Yeah, a little bit more. This is a shaper tablespoon. And you're going to want to add 6 of these cunts right into the stock. I might cut away here to make it easier because this is difficult one-handed, but got that nice thick gravy there. And we're just going to add, 6 of these. Right, so peanut butter added. Now for the Hail Mary, you're going to want to add 2 or 3 pretty generous, is this even a tablespoon, dessert spoon, whatever the fuck you call this, of Marmite, if you that's what you're into. A lot of people hate on Marmite, but in a recipe like this, it's it's actually inexcusable not to add it because it just takes the flavour to another dimension. Yeah, baby. Yeah, while I was adding that, I had a think, and I think three spoonfuls of Marmite would have been definite overkill, but 2 of those big ones, like I just showed, should be plenty. I think I've actually added more of the stock here than I would have liked, but it's fine. It should still be fine, but yeah, I prefer the water level to be a little bit lower. Just give this a stir. It's going to look a little bit grainy at first, but that's just while everything mixes together. But that's not grains of stock, that's actually the peanut butter sort of breaking apart. It might be different for different brands of peanut butter. I've used Smooth here, you don't have to, but with crunchy peanut butter, even though it's kind of you do get a nice texture from it, some of the chunks can dry out a bit. This here should be fine. The bacon is looking a little bit worse for wear. I probably should have paid more attention to that, but it's crispy. It's not burnt to oblivion. And yeah, we're just going to add those now. Bacon in. Don't be afraid to get the fat juices in there, because that's all flavour. I'll probably scrape some of the charred bits at the bottom of the pan into it as well, but again, filming while creating a masterpiece is not the easiest thing in the world. Now we're gonna pour in this sauce. Oh, look how thick it is. Yummy. You got a little bit of residue there, but that's all just peanut butter, I think. And I think it's safe to say we've added more than enough of that. Just give it a stir. And cover it. Leave it to cook for like an hour, I think. Yeah. I finished my favourite part of the slow cook. It's filming upside down for some reason. Okay, that should be better. If not, you're watching this upside down. Oh well. So something I noticed, just a quick aside while this is cooking away, for those who are interested. Nice little sort of stalactite here of water dripping from the boiler, which was churning away just a second ago, which is causing this to be quite wet, which was, funnily enough, the area that was leaking before from behind the tiles, which I'm still not convinced is fixed either. I think it's just moved the problem from here, where I've got this very aesthetically pleasing lump of acrylic wedged into the wall, and it's just sort of moved the problem to here. I don't know if you can see the residue on the tiles there. So now it's just leaking from a different place, which is what you want. But yeah, washing up's all done. I've actually managed to stain my non-stick pan with my terrible cooking practices. I think that's because the first few times I used it, I used oil or something. You're not supposed to with a non-stick pan, but that looks like shit now, but you know, still does the job. But yeah, leave that for like an hour. Probably take the chicken out of the fridge in about half an hour, I would say, and just leave it on the side to let it get back to room temperature. Apparently that's important. I mean, it's going into that vat of a boiling liquid, so I don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference. But you know, that's again just for consistency's sake with the recipe. I'm modelling this off because it says to do that, and you know, there's a part of me that thinks if I don't do that, it's gonna end up with like a pot of raw chicken. I don't know why I'm suddenly concerned with sticking to the recipe, because I don't know if you saw I've got these measuring spoons which I don't think have seen the light of day for a long time. I'm more of one of those sort of, you know, revolutionary creative types, a visionary, if you will. I'm not restricted by measurements and stuff. But yeah, that's I think all I wanted to say. I think it's a bit disingenuous to sort of say that the chicken's marinating at the moment, to be honest, because I mean, it's really only sitting there for like, I don't know, an hour or so. I think I've eaten food which has been left out for longer than that, so I don't know. I really don't know if it's necessary. Maybe if you wanted the marinade to like be noticeable in the cook, you would you know, prepare yourself a bit better than I have and leave it in the fridge for like a day or at least overnight before you started, but I haven't done that, and I'm not going to. So there. Alright, chicken out the fridge. It's time. Bish bash bosh. Job's a good one, mate. Oh. Do you smell that? Do you smell that? Oh. Oh, it's fogged up my camera. That smells absolutely delish. Let's pop that down here. Pour uno memento. Don't know, the battery, my phone's on low battery, so that might have messed the recording up a bit. But whatevs, because it's chicken time, which is the best time. And also the chili oil appears to have combined nicely with the blood that was soaking at the bottom, so now you actually can't tell the difference. So I don't feel any guilt about leaving that in there. Don't know why I would anyway. I'm the one eating it, so if I poison myself, you know, I'm not gonna sue. I guess I could sue Aldi. Shouldn't be blood in a pack of chicken that's a day old and it's supposed to expire a week from now. I'm just adding it to the slow cook now. Obviously it's a two-handed job, so you're not going to see this happening, but you know, why would I lie about something like that? what we call that. Excellent job. There we go. Chicken added. Mix it around. Prod, prod, prod. Yeah, the sauce is looking nice and thick. I think I was right earlier though about adding a little bit too much boiling water to the stock. So, you know, in an ideal scenario, the level would be slightly lower and the sauce would be even thicker. But this isn't bad. And if I had any corn flour, I could add that to thicken it up a bit, but I don't. And it's not the end of the world. It's still thick enough to be tasty. And yeah, we're going to leave that for another hour, and then we'll be adding the spinach, which you know, I'm using as a substitute for rice in the original recipe. I know spinach and rice are not cousins in the food department, but I think the spinach just gives it a nice texture and, you know, healthy in it, which is always good. And I think if you add, thing is, the recipe says to add rice. With a sauce this thick, I don't think it would absorb very well. And if you're making it as a big batch and you want to spread out the portions, when you refrigerate it, the rice just goes dry AF. So I think it's best to not add the rice. If you want rice, cook it separately. It's 10 minutes out of your day. So if you can't be bothered to do that, but you can be bothered to wait 3 hours for a slow cook to be made, then there's something wrong with you. Or you can, you know, you can mix it up. You don't have to go with rice. I've got some potatoes up here. You can have some mash. Mash is tasty. Or bread. Nothing wrong with a bit of bread. I said this what I've got here would be a genius Subway filling. So I might try and sell it to them. If you're wondering about the black bits floating around, that is burnt onion. I'm not going to beat around the bush. That is burnt. But not much I can do about that now. And you know, it tastes fine. It's charred on the edges. It's not going to be like biting into a lump of coal, because like at the end of the day, it's just onion and it's only burnt on the outside. But yeah, cool beans. Catch you in a bit. Alright, so taking a break from this prison I call seven lectures of integer programming and combinatorial optimization. I don't know why my lecturers decided that that's acceptable, an acceptable amount of material for 1 week, but you know, you got to make light of situations like these, because we've got an absolutely killer slow cook on the go, and it's time for some spinach. I bought some baby spinach from Aldi. I don't know if there's much of a difference between this and regular spinach, but this is washed and ready to eat, and it saves me the hassle of having to wash it myself, which is always good. Always good news for a man like me. So here we go. Again, a little bit runnier than I would have liked, but hey ho. I might reduce the amount of spinach I have this time, because it's already looking slightly watery. I mean, this will separate. I mean, look, the sauce is still decently thick. It's just sort of got a thinner layer on top. You can probably, if you get something like that, sieve it off. I mean, it's all, when you're portioning it out, you're going to get most of the like chicken and meat and vegetables and spinach on, if you have a ladle especially, so it's not going to be a problem. But it does mean at the end you might get like a load of liquid. but it's tasty. Promise it tastes good. So I'll just go and bung all this spinach in then. Now this is enough iron to last you a lifetime. You might think the amount I'm adding is excessive. I'm going with a whole bag, actually. But it does wilt down as it cooks, as spinach does. So don't need to worry about that. And actually, if you sort of give it a poke, it kind of quickly it does go down. It does. Voila, we're done. Just kidding, obviously. But watch the magic happen. Just careful it doesn't overflow. Give it a bit of a squidge. You can also dice it up if you would like to do that. Kind of get smaller bits of spinach, but not necessary. It's baby spinach. It'll shrunk right down, and there you go. See, looking better already. My boiler's disagreeing, but there we go. Pushed down, mixed in, job done. Lit. So yeah, again, you're gonna get a fair amount of water from this spinach. Not too much. I don't think it'll be as much as if you added like, I don't know, like a tomato, like a whole tomato, or like a cucumber, or like an apple or something. But just be mindful of that if you are going for the thickness of the sauce. But yeah, that's that bit done. We're just gonna recover this here and leave it for another hour and then serve up. Yum yum. All right, so we've reached the home straight of today's recipe. I mean, this has been going for about an hour almost since I put the spinach in. So I've decided I'm gonna have some mashed potatoes with it tonight. I've had rice with it a lot. Thought I'd switch it up a bit. I think mashed potatoes are slightly lower maintenance anyway. Not that rice is hard to cook, but you know, just means I can leave it boiling and not worry about it spilling over while it's boiling. So just gonna add some water. Leave that to boil. I might have a bit of salad with it too. I mean, you can have your mashed potatoes however you want, really. But I might add some special sauce in the making of that. Some milk, some Vitalite spread, maybe some coleslaw since I have that left. But to be honest, it expired on the 9th and today's the 12th, so might be binning that. Give it a smell, sniff test, you know how it is, and you can add some herbs and garlic salt and stuff. Don't know why they're chilies up here. That's not your home. But yeah, this is my first time at this house. I've never had an actual gas hob before, which has been a fun experience. Mainly just because it's like open flame, isn't it? Which is kind of cool. Makes me want to set things alight. But I've managed to not do that yet. So I've had a few close calls. But yeah, potatoes are a go. Slow cook is looking yummy and smelling delish. And I guess the next scene you'll see is me plating up. All right, so we've drained off our potatoes. So we're gonna make the mosh now. What I did, I'll just get a fork so I can mash this properly. I've had a lot of butter here, as you can see. I was gonna add more of the special sauce, but it had run out, so I couldn't add any more than that. But that's okay. I've got some garlic salt and some mixed herbs, and you know, a generous amount of butter. Look how fluffy that is. Gorgeous. Doing the one-handed mash. Yeah, so this is going to go nicely with our slow cooked dish. And oops, spilt some over the side there. That's alright. I'll probably cut away and finish the mashing, and then I'll plate up. I always find with mash, if you want a real good mash, use double cream. Or like creme fraiche or something, because then you get a really nice, thick, smooth mash. But you know, I thought about adding milk, but I've had enough butter, so it should be fine. You ready for the big reveal? Voila! There we have it. Lots of that lovely sauce, mash, some mixed leaf salad, and yeah, I think this is looking pretty tasty. Lovely tender bit of chicken there. But yeah, it looks good. How does it taste? Here we go. I'm gonna try and get some mash. A bit of everything on there. Bit of chicken. Yeah, it's a good chunk. Bit of spinach. Bit of salad. Right. Down the hatch. Try not to burn myself. That might be the best batch I've ever made. That's fucking divine. Oh my god. What the fuck? Wow. Mine compliments to the chef. Being me, because I cooked it. But that's a quality meal, and it's easy. So there's no excuse not to make it. Yeah. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope it's inspired you.